June. Actually, it's technically July. I am filming this in July, but it's for a vlog that is basically going to tell you all about my June. I was very busy in June and I didn't really film anything. I literally have 15 minutes of footage throughout my entire June. The reason that I didn't film anything in June was just because sort of towards the end of May, in the last few vlogs that you guys might have seen, I had kept on saying, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. Oh, I've hardly filmed this week, I'm so busy. And it just became like a reoccurring theme. I was also trying to fit in like not just busy with actual work slash, I guess, hobby stuff. It was like I was trying to fit in like leisure time as well, because I didn't just want to be like absolutely busy with my job and stuff around the house and all that sort of stuff, and then also like stress myself out trying to get videos out. I was like, something's got to give, like something has got to give. So what I think we are ready for is for me to take you through my month of June and tell you all of the things that I did. First and foremost, I was redecorating my entire room. I had this bright spark idea that I'm gonna swap things around. I needed a different bed as well, to be honest. My room is kind of a bit all over the place at the minute because today is the day that we are dismantling the day bed. It's lovely, I love the day bed, and it was actually originally just meant to be my couch, so we did originally have it like this, and then rooms changed around and everything and it became my bed. We've since bought a new bed, but I'm also going to paint the walls. So the first start of sorting all of this out was obviously to get rid of the day bed. It's not 100% completely going. What we're going to do is kind of try and wrap it up a little bit, maybe cover it in black bin bag, obviously once it's like dismantled, and put it out in the shed. If you have watched my shed clearing out video, you will know that that is something that we planned a little while ago. So the idea then is that for the next couple of days I'll be sleeping just on the mattress on the floor, and we'll get this sort of side of the painting all done probably to, I guess, about here, and then this desk, oh my god, look at the mess. This desk is then going over there. I want to get another desk, so I kind of have like a kind of makeshift corner desk, because I think it's going to be cheaper that way, and just generally I'm going to have more space, because when you look at corner desks, very few of them are actually the same length either side. One of them is just like a tiny little corner like lip, and I don't want that. I want like a big thing. So I want like half of it to be the computer and half of it I can use for like arts and crafts or something. This is gonna either have to go out in the shed or go completely, and then this might either have to go into the spare room, or if I can like lie it down and fit enough like across, that's gonna happen. I've got an armchair coming that's being given to me by Sophie's parents, so that's lovely. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at the minute. So my brother-in-law's on his way. He's gonna completely dismantle this for me because he's got all the tools and stuff to do it. I'm gonna sleep on the floor for a little while, which is fine. And yeah, that's where we're at. And also, instead of just moving the furniture around, I was like, this room needs colour. Now you can't actually see the colour from where I am because I haven't done this bit yet, and I'm not gonna like, oh, I don't know, you can't really see, you can't tell. I was like, this room needs colour, and I really wanted green. I had debated on whether or not I do like a whole wall green, or like all of the walls green, or just like a feature wall green or whatever. And then as I was like researching, I found the sort of half white, half green walls. I really enjoyed that. I liked that. So that is what I did. And then I remember picking up all of the things that I needed to paint and thinking, I'm gonna need to make this wall very straight. I don't have a level. I don't have one of those laser things that make the wall straight. So I kind of came out with a bit of a weird way of making the wall straight. So this is the state of things at the minute. My bed being on the floor and everything. I'm currently scoring the wall for where I'm going to put the tape across, because I'm doing like a half green at the bottom, white at the top. And this broomstick, when I took off the broom part of it, was literally the perfect height. So if I've got a pencil in my mouth, basically I do this and I can score it, and then it should then be even. I mean, it's looking okay, isn't it? I'm gonna have to move my poster and obviously move all this out, but basically the intention is to kind of do like all of this side, and then once that's done and dried, move everything over to this side, then do that side, and then sort of put the bed up and everything and make sure everything's over here, and then this side will be last because it's gonna, you know, gonna have to move that afterwards. It's cat. So yeah, I am going around brooming my wall. There we go. First line done, and I use the broom, and then I've put the table on, and then I've measured basically like there to there, and it is perfect. So I'm excited. That was Mr. Binks. So that was definitely like a very big project of mine for the entirety of June, and because it meant moving my computer around and everything, like it was just, first weekend of June came along. So it was my cousin's hen do, and we went down to Brighton and did the Alcatraz prison experience. So I've got a little clip of it here.
You say masticating?
I'm not chewing cud like a cow.
You were masturbating on a
All right, fine. Or we shall show the image and video of you masturbating too. Over the, wait, whoa. I didn't read on yet. Oh. All right, finally. Or we shall show the image and video of you masturbating over the picture of Starbait while calling out, Tommy, I'll make you proud.
And just generally, it was just very nice being down in Brighton, and my sister got very, very tipsy, let's say. Of course, throughout the months, I was seeing the horses, I was seeing Toast, I was up at the yard. Not as much as I would have liked to have been. I did have to miss a few weekends here and there. So I tried to go up sometimes during the week, but it didn't happen as much as I wanted it to. But this is Maria, Explore with Mazza, and she is just free lunging 2 of the horses here. And I thought they were going to run me over at one point. So back to my room. I had been able to clear all of the furniture. For about 2 weeks, I had my Calyx shelves in the hallway, and we don't have a very big hallway, so we literally had to like sidle to the bathroom. But it was just, because of everything else, it was just taking such a long time trying to get the paint up. I tried to do it as quickly as I could, but then once I got the paint up, I then realised, hey, I actually have no room for my Calyx shelves in this room anymore, so they're gonna have to go into the other room. But the other room was an absolute state. I'm actually refusing to put the video clip in here because it was so bad. It was just a mountain of things. I had to keep recycling and re-wearing the same clothes and just like putting them in the wash, wearing them again, putting them in the wash, wearing them again, because I literally could not get to any of my clothes. I didn't plan it as well as I think I could have to make my life easier. I think I should have done a bit more sorting out and a bit more tidying before I did all of the painting and everything. But I will say that I'm just like, I'm very proud of myself for being able to do it, because I actually did all of the painting by myself. Normally I recruit my mum to help, and you know, especially with trying to make everything straight, it would have been very much normal for me to have been like, you go that end, you go this, double check my work, do this, do that. But actually I just thought I need to get on with it. She was working, she's tired. Even though I was working and I was tired and it was very, very hot at some points, I was like, I need to get this done. So I would spend most of my evenings after work that I had free, because I didn't have all of them free, painting these walls, doing a double coat, cleaning my brushes, taping them up, moving furniture, taping it up again, doing more paint, yada yada yada. And I mean, yeah, from what I can see, not that you guys can see it, but from what I can see, it looks good. It is literally just this tiny little bit here that I need to do. But because I wasn't changing the location of my TV, I was like, I'll do that later. That's a non-issue. That is something that I can do later. When I'd finally painted, my absolute favourite thing in the world was peeling off the tape. I had to be a bit careful when it came to the skirting board, but peeling the paint off at the top was just so satisfying. It left a couple of pencil marks from where I'd scored the wall, but you know, it'll rub off, it'll come off, it's fine. But the actual, just like that harsh line of the paint, it was brilliant. So after I painted my room, naturally I had to look at the furniture that I wanted to put in here. So we have got the desk, which is going to go along this wall here, and hopefully will fit okay, because I know it's going to go over this way a little bit, but apparently it should still fit this in. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna go. But now I'm gonna try and see if I can build this on my own, which I doubt it. I actually wanted this desk, which is my main desk with my computer in front of me, on this wall, so the wall that's like, so my back would be to the window. However, it just was too long. You'll see it in the clip that it has like a sort of a special stand for a large computer, which, you know, I do have a large computer shell. Because of that stand, it then like poked out past this like tiny little ingrove that I have in part of the wall here, and it was not going to work. I couldn't fit my bookshelf right there back on, and I thought I don't want to have to try and faff about putting it anywhere else. So in the end I thought, you know what, let me try and see what it looks like the other way, and so that's what I did. This is where we're at right now, and I have to say I absolutely love it. It's irritating that the table is a little bit higher, but I've sat there and it seems fine. It's nice that obviously once I get this all kitted out properly, we'll be able to see that. I've got everything plugged in. I love that my little fridge I bought myself. It was a birthday gift from me, from me. Just like to put a couple of fizzies in it, and it just fits so perfectly. I mean, that could not fit more perfectly. So I am loving this setup at the minute. I want to get like one of those really nice sort of like long mats that go along here, and I do want to change my keyboard and stuff. But yeah, I am absolutely loving it so far. I did have auditions for the show that I'm doing at the end of the year, where I'm actually directing it, and that went really, really well. Once again, don't have clips. Honestly, I was thrilled. Like, I still need to finish writing parts of it, but seeing the response that I got from people and how much they enjoyed my script, how much they laughed at my jokes, it's really spurred me on, actually. And it's one of those things where you kind of feel like, actually, are my jokes funny just because like I think they're funny? Like, I wrote them, so obviously I think they're funny. And it's like, oh, these aren't funny. I just think that they're funny because I think they're funny. Do you know what I mean? But actually then seeing people laugh at it, and I mean sometimes absolutely roaring, and I don't know, there was just such an enjoyment. Like, everybody was really enjoying themselves, and it just really warmed my heart. So we had 2 days of auditions, and I've cast it now, and it's like it's a bit real now. But now I can go along, I can choose songs, I can edit the script based on who I have cast, because I know what obviously like their strengths are. I'm really chuffed, and I just think it's going to be a really, really good show. Anyway, moving on. So after those auditions, I then had the absolute honour and privilege to go to a very dear friend's wedding of mine. She is a friend that I met through cosplay, gosh, I think in 2010 or something. We had to go to, I want to say is it Shrewsbury? Here. So we had to go here because of the accident that I mentioned in the very first week of my vlog. I was like, oh, I really don't want to drive over there. I am much better and I can do long journeys now, but that would be definitely the longest journey that I had been on since my accident. And I just thought, oh, it's somewhere totally brand new. It's mostly motorway. I don't want that responsibility. So at first we were going to get the train. The train is like £100 return per person. And we were just a bit like, that's insane. Like, we had to pay for the hotel that we were staying anyway, naturally. And we were just like, oh gosh, we don't want to like tag on another £100 to our bill. Panicked a little bit, thinking, gosh, what can we do? Then I had the bright spark idea of looking at coaches. I used to have to get the coach up north all the time to see an ex of mine, and it was like, oh, this is like a really, really good idea. So yeah, I hadn't been on a coach in about 10 years. Googled it, and for 3 of us return, it was £90. So it was like £30 each. So compared to £100 each return to £30 each return, and obviously we had to get the train up to the coach station. But literally the journey was pretty painless. They've got like charging ports in the back of the seats now. Not that I brought the right charger for it, but still. Going to the wedding from the hotel to the venue, they actually had arranged a bus for us. here I am with my friends Sophie and Sophie, and what's really great is that that blue dress that I'm wearing isn't my dress. So it was Sophie with the red hairs. Yeah, they're both called Sophie. It's very confusing. Keep up. So Sophie with the red hair, who was in the yellow dress in that clip, she had bought this dress and she had wanted to wear the blue dress. She wasn't sure about it. And so the night before, we each had bought like 3 dresses, and because we all weren't sure. The night before, Sophie with the black hair had tried it on and she absolutely loved it. However, she already kind of knew what dress that she wanted to wear. She was like, no, I definitely want to wear this dress. And then they were like, Emma, try this dress on, because the dresses that I had brought, like I had one that was really, really nice, but it wasn't very like summery. It wasn't like summer wedding-y. It was more like a winter wedding-y sort of one. And they were like, oh, try this dress on. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, guys, I'm not going to fit into this dress. Like, full disclosure, I'm a size UK 22 to 24, and my friends are not. Like, they are so much slimmer than me. And they're like, no, try it on. They stretch, it'll be fine. And I'm like, I'm going to ruin your dress. Like, I'm not going to do this. I fit into it perfectly fine. I was like, what is going on here? Hold on a minute. Like, how is this happening? And like, all 3 of us had tried this dress on in that evening, and it hadn't stretched it out. It looked really nice on me. It like fit in all the right places. And I was just like, what is this magic? It literally was like Sisterhood of the Traveling Dress. It was bizarre. It was insane. But like, from that, they also managed to get me, like, convince me to try on a couple of other of their dresses that actually fit. So sizes are a lie. I'm completely mind blown. Don't know what's happening there. But I mean, obviously I felt good about myself. So, but yeah, overall it was a really, really lovely wedding. My friends had literally thought of everything. So I'm friends with them both. It's not just like I'm friends with her. I'm friends with them both. And they had literally, as I said, they had literally thought of everything. They had put hand fans out that you could take. There was like entertainment for the kid. Like, well, I say entertainment for the kids, but I took a bunch of bubbles. So there was like bubbles. They had put blankets out for if you get cold. Flip-flops for when it came to dancing. So if you're wearing your high heels and you didn't bring anything and then suddenly you want to dance, they were brand new flip-flops and everything. They had literally thought of everything. Obviously, we're a group of gamer friends. And they had organised for 2, what are they called? Arcade machines. 2 arcade machines with 4,000 games on each that you could just like go and play for free. It was like, honestly, the coolest wedding I think I've ever been to. Like, honestly, I love them both so much, and I'm just like, I feel so honoured and privileged that I was able to like take part in their special day, and it was just beautiful, and it was made me cry a couple of times, and I don't usually cry at stuff like that, but it was just it was amazing. It was wonderful, and it was so nice seeing them again as well, because I hadn't seen them actually since before lockdown, because we just hadn't been on the same con scenes at the time. But yeah, I just felt really privileged to be able to share that special day with them. So the other thing that was keeping me so incredibly busy during June was a LARP that I had gone to, or a LARP that I was going to at the end of June. The LARP was Realms, which was a Feast Your Eyes one. So if you have been keeping an eye on my channel, you know that I went to a Feast Your Eyes LARP in February called Redacted, which I'm going to put up here like a suggestion for the film that I made during Redacted. Basically an 80s like cryptid hunting LARP. So this LARP that I was going to, it's like high fantasy, fae, wild creatures, realms. Basically, you could be like a fairy, a pixie, a mycelofae, which is like a mushroom person, an elkling, which I guess is like in other forms is kind of like a changeling, so kind of mystical with like antlers and stuff, a gnome, a goblin. I think that was everything. So it was like meant to be obviously very like high costume, sort of, you know, be sort of pageantry involved and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, I decided to go as a fairy, and I decided to go as a jewel beetle fairy. This is a jewel beetle, if you have never seen a jewel beetle before. So I really wanted to go for that like iridescence and shiny wings and all this sort of stuff. So long story short, I can't sew. I love doing costume stuff, and I can sew a little bit, but I cannot sew. Like, if you say, hey, we're gonna make these things, such as we're gonna make your wings or we're gonna make a cloak, my brain goes, okay, how? You tell me, oh, we're gonna make some antlers that come out of your head. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Or I'm gonna make like a giant fan, which I've done before. Insert picture here. But like, I can, in my head, I can do props. I can do props and like build stuff, what I call with my hands. So I can visualize that. But when it comes to costumes or sewing, I just cannot fathom it for the life of me. I don't know what type of stitch to use. I have a sewing machine. Sadly, she barely gets used. But if I do use her, the tension's not right. It's just, I feel very unlucky when it comes to sewing. So naturally I grovel to Redhead Sophie. If you're wondering why I'm calling them this, it's because, as I said, they're both called Sophie, and my parents don't know surnames. So I'll say, oh, this is Sophie, oh, this is Sophie, and they'll be sitting there sort of going, who's that? And then I have to either do it by region or I do it by hair colour. So what I'll do is Black-haired Sophie will be called Fee, and I think even actually when she was in my first vlog I called her that anyway in the description. Redhead Sophie will be Sophie because that is their names. So, and Fee likes to be called Fee, so I'm making this way more complicated than it needs to be. Sophie and I then sort of worked together in making both of our costumes. She was being a fawn, so she had to sort of foam mold her legs, so we had a really fun time, which sadly I mean I should have, but I never did. But I should have filmed it. Basically duct taping her leg, so we had to like cling film her leg and then like duct tape it so that she could get the shape of like the padding and everything. But that was like hilarious. So yeah, I spent quite a few days down at Sophie's in the last month as well, just to get these costumes out. So yeah, she is literally incredible. I just need to froth about her at the minute, because literally she just, the way that she can just make stuff. Like, I had an image in my head, I told her what the image was, and it basically came to life. I can't do that. I cannot do that. Like, I might see an image and it would be completely different, because I would take what I would call the lazy man's route out, just because I don't have the skills to do it. But yeah, I knew that I was gonna have a dress. I then wanted wings like beetles, which are obviously like the underlay of like they're underneath, and then I wanted like a cloak that was segmented into two to basically be the beetle's carapace, or like, is that what they're called? So it kind of gave that illusion, and I had all these multi-layers, and I knew that I wanted armor to hold up the cloak, because I felt like a beetle is like tough and obviously like kind of with an armored shell. And then obviously, yeah, I wanted like a headdress, and I wanted to wear a wig. And by the end of it, I'll install like a little clip of me here trying it on. That's what I got. And that kind of, I don't know, it just surprises me, because that's what I got. Yeah, I felt great. I wish that like my top wasn't so high. I had to really pull this bit up because it was securing the pauldrons that I had made. But yeah, overall I was just like, this is exactly what I wanted. And yeah, I felt really chuffed about it. I need to learn how to pluck the lace front wig, I think, just to make the hairline a little bit more natural, because otherwise it looks like, you know, one of those like 80s headbands where it's just, and also I have quite a bit of a widow's peak. So if I could pluck like maybe that part of it, like, it's not a very dramatic widow's peak, I don't think, but yeah, I don't know, maybe it is, I don't know, like high elf. Woo. And so yeah, ultimately my month ended with this LARP. It's been like a really long time since I've done a 2-camera piece, because I've not really been filming much, but I'm about to go to a LARP. It's called Realms, and I get to be a fairy, and obviously I won't be able to like show so much because it's LARP, you're not meant to have your phones and stuff. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to be like, I'm LARPing this weekend and yay, and I'll try and get some footage of my costume. But yeah, haven't been vlogging much. July is where it's at, just bear with me. So here is like a little bit of the makeup that I was doing, like very green and purple to match the green and purple chrome that I had, like it was like purple armor. I also was wearing little pixie ears, but I ended up not wearing them for the rest of it because under the wig you just couldn't see them anyway. So I approached one of my friends who basically runs Feast Your Eyes or iLARP or whatever, kind of both of them, and I basically was like, can we borrow all of the flowers that you guys have if you don't need them so that we can decorate our tent? And he was like, yeah, go for it. So yeah, ended up having like a massive IKEA sort of duffel bag of flowers that yeah, we then managed to make our tent all pretty. We had a mirror and stuff outside, so you know, ignore that for now. But yeah, we were really chuffed with how it looked. So that is actually kind of it. And I've been prattling on for a really long time, and I suppose that when you segment it down, it doesn't sound like I was that busy, but I can assure you I was constantly on the move. Once this room is tidy, because it's not at the minute, I will do a nice sweep of kind of like what it looked like before, because I do have that. It wasn't exactly how it looked, because it was back when, instead of having it as a bed, I had the day bed as a couch. But it will be, I know I might have a clip of it, but I'll do a before sweep of how it kind of looked, and then also now a sweep of what it looks like now. So yeah, you can kind of see the progress. I'm gonna add some more flowers around to really bring out the green of the walls. Yeah, aside from the wall that hasn't been painted yet, it's pretty much where it needs to go. I really want a rug. I really want a really nice rug, but I want like a very specific type of rug. I want it to be, what is the word? Maybe kind of like vintage, but it's like what you might have seen in like Downton Abbey, like that sort of vintagey old, or like cream with like pink and green or something. Like, I'm sure that when I was a kid, we used to have one in our living room, and I just kind of really want that back again. What I will say is also, before the LARP, before we get there, I also went to another wedding. It was the reception of one of my members of my drama group. That was a really fun time as well. So it was like one hen do, 2 weddings, a LARP, auditions, redecorating my entire room, a barbecue, and copious amounts of D&D. So yeah. Whew. I mean, even this has taken me just like half an hour to explain it. I'm gonna have to cut that right down, aren't I? So that was my June, and I wish that I had kept up my filming. Of course I do. I was really on a roll, as it were, and then I just thought, do you know what, something's gonna have to give. And sadly, this is like kind of my lowest priority. As much as I want to do it for myself, I also know that I need to be in the right state of mind / state of busyness to be able to carry it on. But it's July now. I don't have many plans for this month. I made it that way. I have 2 things. I had 2 things on my calendar, and one of them is already gone, and one of them is just a maybe. So, I mean, I do kind of want to do it though, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, at the minute, July is just a nice breather after June. And yeah, I'm hoping to get back on track with this. I need to do some more writing of my show. I get to spend more time with my horses and Toast, and it's just, that's where I'm gonna leave it. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope that you don't mind the fact that I went so AWOL. Here's to a really good July. See you later.